You could try it, Tim, but you might get shot again.
We were going to mainly talk about Sinners tonight, but there is kind of a Riverdance crossover, and I know that a while back, Kristi went and did actually go see Riverdance. So I don't
Sure
know
did.
what did you think of the whole experience?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I really loved it because, fun fact, I was a tap dancer when I was young,
Hmm.
and I was a really good tap dancer too. But so I really liked it, but that's another level of dancing. There's a lot of I don't understand how they're not all in knee braces and stuff. I don't get it. I really don't.
Hmm.
Yeah,
One day they will be.
they will. Yeah. You know what? You can do that for it's like pro athletes, right? Like they have to retire at 30.
I mean, I'll probably be in knee braces too. Tim, you're going to be in knee braces. We don't do any Irish dancing. I don't anyway.
No.
I was allergic to dancing until recently. And
Dude,
then, and what's
go
that?
I was gonna say I was in a knee brace for no reason. I like just went to the dog park and ended up in a knee brace, so there was that.
It is definitely like all legs, that sort of dancing. Like, there isn't a whole lot of torso in there. There's not a whole lot of arm waving. That's forbidden. Tell us
Yeah,
more. What else?
about Riverdance?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, so my whole report on Riverdance is I felt like way less of a person after going to see it. I was like, what am I even first of all, I had to go to like the 2 p.m. matinee on a Sunday because we did that because I went with my mom. But I went there and it's such high energy and like you just come out of there feeling like what are you doing with your life because you're just sitting down. It's Tim, when I said I'm never exercising again because of
Yeah.
Riverdance, that wasn't true. I'm actually doing it more now. It was really good though. Like
Well,
it's super high energy. It was like insanely good.
maybe we should go just for positive reinforcement of what are we doing with their lives, and we should pick it up a bit.
Yeah, if you want to ever feel like less of a man, go see Riverdance.
I can
Yeah,
see that. So yeah, getting into Sinners now,
yeah,
and the crossover seems, unless you've seen the movie, you wouldn't get that reference. But
yeah.
so I guess we'll do the usual thing. We'll try to avoid spoilers for the first half of the show.
Heard.
So I guess overall impressions.
I loved it. Did you?
I did. Ryan?
So did I. A funny thing is Tim and I were kind of talking before this, and Tim and I, what we were saying in the last podcast was him and I have had a lot more time to hang out together, and going to see Sinners was one of those times. And what wound up happening is him and I met up. We went to this movie, hung out, and had a nice time, and then we got up and left right when the movie was ending, thinking everything was just fine. And we missed the end of the movie. There was like two more endings after that. So there's like if you don't stay to the end credits and all the way through the end credits to the end of the movie, you miss like 3 scenes. So we wound up missing those scenes, and I didn't see them until afterwards. But I loved it. And I've seen it a couple times since. I watch movies more than once, I'm ashamed to say. I watch a bunch of times if I like it.
I've done that.
But if I like a movie, I'll watch it a bunch of times, and I've seen it a couple times since, and I really, really liked it. So it reminded me of a couple things, and I think that's on purpose. And some of the things that it reminded me of are things that I liked. So I'll hand it over to you guys. What else? Some other thoughts? What'd you guys think?
I'm not sure if I missed the whole, like, I didn't go somewhere to see it. I didn't even know it was in theaters because I watched it on Crave, I think. Crave or HBO or something. I didn't even know it went to theaters. I just was no, it was on Paramount or something anyways, but I took out, like, a free trial of the whole streaming channel just to watch that, and then I canceled because that's what I do. I'll get Crave for, like, a month and then watch the thing and cancel. Um, but so I'm not sure that I really wanted to watch it again before we went live, like, I would have watched it last night, Tim, after you asked me to come on this, but again,
Not
I
enough
can't do
time,
it
right?
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so you don't know if you've seen the secret ending.
Well, now
So
I'm just having a hard time recalling it because I'm 52 and I don't remember a lot of things
yeah.
now.
Being as so we really liked it, but I think this is one of those polarizing films though, because I was looking at some reviews before we
Yeah.
came on here, and here's just two of them back to back on IMDb. Some of these reviews. So one of them said the title is A Musical Tale from Hell, and
Accurate.
right below that, but he didn't mean it in a good way. And right below that, the next review is titled Boring, Disappointing, and Useless. So don't believe the hype. There's another one. So I guess some people didn't like it as much. And I wonder if they didn't like it because the reviews were too good and they are being contrary.
I
I
think those
think,
people are just describing their own lives in those reviews. Boring, useless, and stupid. I mean,
yeah,
whoever wrote that,
and
it fits you.
I think the people who didn't like it didn't understand. Like that it wasn't about vampires. It was about I mean, for me personally, I watch all Black history, Black and America history movies, and like that was the point of it. It wasn't really a vampire movie. Like that's just how they like portrayed the story, do you know? Like I've read a lot of reviews on Reddit about this and same thing, people either loved it or they hated it because they didn't understand, you
Yeah.
know?
I kind of like that aspect of it too. I don't know anything really about Black history. I know I like blues music and I like folk music a lot, and kind of a movie that explores the roots of all that stuff with mixing it in with a story that made sense for the time and the people that the story was about. I just thought was really imaginative way to get that kind of message out to people and have something an entertaining way of people learning a little bit about something that they don't know. And I just really thought that the director who was who was behind the whole thing, he was so clever at just putting in what he needed into the message of the story that he's talented. This is a talented person that made this movie, and he did it in a way that I just thought was like really really smart, really good. Vampires, Tim and we've talked about vampires before, and you could get some really stupid mythology with vampires, and then you get something like this where the vampires are kind of like an allegory for something else, and that kind of makes a little bit more sense to the mythology of vampires. It's going to add to it. Did you guys really pick up on this movie? Is that there was like little aspects of other vampire movies in this movie?
No, because I'm not a big vampire movie watcher, but Tim, you can take this one.
Well, for sure, I can't remember the name of the movie now. It was I thought of it earlier.
Is it
Where
Twilight?
where the film starts out entirely as a separate film, and the family gets kidnapped, and there's serial killers or whatever. Ryan knows all about this movie, I'm sure already. And then halfway through, it turns into a vampire flick.
It's From Dusk Till
Yeah,
Dawn, Tim.
yeah, that one, Dust Till
You're
Dawn.
welcome.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyways, it definitely reminded me of that one, for obvious reasons. If you've seen the movie,
And he
because
did
you
he
have
did say that was one of his influences for putting this movie together. So that was definitely, if you pick that up, it's not on purpose, or it is on purpose, I guess, that he had that in mind when he made this movie. Very similarly driven. Like, the other thing I liked about this movie is the good guys, they're not really that good. Like, they had their own bad stuff going on.
Yeah,
They were complex characters too. They were morally ambiguous.
yeah.
And when everything kind of shakes out, you get a good sense of who these two guys were that were doing all this stuff and what they had kind of coming for them. And I think if you really look at the movie, if you went beyond this, I wouldn't be surprised if we see these characters pop up in something again, like maybe in a like a prequel or something like that to show what they were doing before this movie. It has its own kind of lore and mystery to it that I thought, pardon me, was really entertaining.
Yeah, there was a lot of connections too with things like I was really invested in some of the characters, and like after the movie and I got online, I was super obsessed with it. So I got online and read a lot of things. I've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube about the actors, and like a lot of people are up in arms that Hailee Steinfeld, who played the mixed woman, what was her name in the movie? I forget. But people were up in arms saying, why did they cast her to play a black woman? But they didn't really understand that, like, she, in real life, she has black heritage too. But like in the movie, there was a reason why she was cast that way, anyways. And lots of people were up in arms because she doesn't look black. But that was the whole point of it, you know?
Yeah.
That was the whole point of why she never ended up with, was it Smoke or Stack? I can't remember the difference between Smoke and Stack. But yeah, it was kind of fascinating.
So
Okay,
speaking
so
of Smoke and Stack, they were played by the same person, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't
So
remember which was which in the movie, which one was kind of the good one and which one was kind of the asshole.
was it
and
Smoke?
Mary was the name of the girl.
What's that?
Mary was the name of the girl, I believe.
Yeah, and her name in real life is Hailee Steinfeld, I think. But
So
yeah.
so this movie, there was a couple other things. I always describe this movie to people was if you liked From Dusk Till Dawn and you like Oh Brother Where Art Thou, it took those two movies and smushed them together, you get kind of Sinners. But Sinners is, you know, better than one of those, and I'd say pretty much equal to another. But it's kind of an interesting picture too, and I don't know if you guys are really musically inclined or if you guys know a lot about history of music, but they had like two kind of, pardon me, two different folk musics kind of like smushing up together in this movie. They had, your vampires were into one certain types of folk music that kind of gets revealed through the story, and then you have driven up against the blues. So the blues music in this movie, the young fella who plays Sammy
Miles
has
Caton.
Miles Caton. He's never done a movie before.
No, he's only 20 years old.
I think he learned to play guitar for this movie,
Mm.
and just like a phenomenon. Where this guy, he just came out of nowhere.
Yep.
And is incredible, like just incredible. So there's that. If we haven't convinced you to watch it already, Miles Caton, fantastic.
Yeah, just look for him on YouTube. His voice is unbelievable.
So when we talk about the bad guys here, and one of the things that kind of reminded me of, because I'm a big comic book dweeb, is it reminded me of the bad guy kind of reminded me a little bit of a character called Cassidy from Preacher, which was a TV show. It was a TV show, but it's a comic book in my heart, and the TV show doesn't exist to me. But but he reminded me a little bit of that. I mean, he's in the fact that he's, an Irish vampire or whatever. Or you find out that he is. We're spoiling the movie now. Should we spoil this?
Go for it. I think,
Yeah.
I think we should spoil it.
Yeah,
Okay.
spoilers after this point.
Watch our number just drop.
Well, it is a few months old now, and I think most of the people here have probably tuned in because they saw it and liked it too. But yeah, so it gets revealed later in the movie. There's a vampire running around on the loose, and just so happens to be he's in the area at that time that they're setting up this juke joint. He converts a couple of willing rednecks, not willing rednecks. They're rednecks, but they're not willing to join him. But they have no choice. He's a vampire.
They invited him in.
They did invite him in. That's the other thing too. That's a Lost Boys thing. If you guys remember the Lost Boys,
you remember that.
Yeah, well, and a True Blood thing as well.
I don't know. Maybe someone can correct us out there. I think Lost Boys started that whole thing where you have to be invited in before anybody else did it. But it's hard to say one way or the other for me. I just remember the inviting in thing. Maybe it was. Do you guys remember that Salem's Lot TV show? it was that Stephen King adaptation, Stephen King, Salem's
Didn't
Lot,
see that one.
and there's always that one. No, oh
Mm-mm.
man, it'll creep you out. There's like a little kid vampire, and he's out the window tapping. He's floating around in the air, and he's tapping on there, telling his buddy, "Let me in, man. Come on, let me in."
You know,
And I
this
think
sounds like From. So we'll have to do another podcast about From if you guys have watched that series.
From, yeah, no,
From.
I haven't. No,
It's
no.
horrific. Watch it.
Oh yeah. I
Anyways,
don't know. Maybe I'm going to have to get fact check on this, but the mythology, the vampire mythology, having to be let in somewhere, um, you have to invite the evil into your house, I guess, is what the message of that is. And it kind of has an interesting kind of talk about the story because they show up at the juke joint, and what are they doing? They're playing music. Like this guy hears this voice and Sammy's voice or whatever, and he's like so enamored with the whole thing that he's got to go there. He's got to take these two other people with him, and they try and trick these people into letting him in by playing some funky tunes, which are really kind of creepy and eerie.
and the reason they didn't get let in, I think, at first is because they were white. I think that was a key point there. They didn't invite them in because they were white, and a juke joint is not for those people.
Yeah, yeah. They that was why they didn't get let in at first, and the people kept persisting. The vampires, they were like, "Oh, come on, like we're all right. We got money and stuff like that." But and then after that, it was like they didn't get let in because they were creepy. But so
Apparently, that comes from Eastern European folklore. That's what the internet is telling us.
oh, is that right?
That
Yeah,
the
right.
home is a sanctified place that represents your personal freedom, and by allowing other people to enter your home, you're actually giving up some of your freedom.
Mm.
The whole idea behind that.
So that's why you don't have to let the police in. They're vampires too.
Well, I don't think holy water works against the police either. So
You could try it, Tim, but you might get shot again.
Again? Okay, that's another podcast.
I don't think Tim's ever been shot, but
just once, not really.
So again, going back to Kristi, we mentioned that you wrote this incredible review about Riverdance and had some sort of funny story. Tim told me, but at the I guess the big set piece for the movie in the end there is like a big Irish dance scene to Rocky Road to Dublin, which is a fantastic scene. I don't know. One of the things that I really liked about this is that I didn't expect it to have such a musical presence to the movie, and it's not really a musical, but it is kind of.
Yeah, and the music is really good. Even if you're not into that Irish, whatever kind of music that was, it was really good. And if you watch, now I can't remember the guy who played the vampire, he learned all of that. Like he did it all himself.
Jack O'Connell, yeah.
It was such a good movie, honestly. But that scene was great. It was really like that was kind of the culmination. Everything was coming to a head in that scene. Like you knew nobody was going to win.
No, fantastic scene, yeah.
How about the reverse cliffhanger where at the beginning the stage gets set where the guy walks into a church carrying a piece of a guitar.
Yeah.
And it makes you really wonder, where is this movie going? Like at first you can't even
Yeah.
picture
Yeah.
where is this going.
And it was
Is
only
he
2
about to
hours earlier, right? Like it said,
exactly.
walks into the church all macked up like that, and it said 24 hours ago.
Yeah, they did a lot of stuff in 24 hours.
Sure did. They sure did.
You know how much cooking that would have taken to prepare the meal? Like that's some time crunch there.
Did either of you guys watch anything on YouTube about the making of the vampires in that movie?
No.
It was really
No.
for it on YouTube. It's so good.
Well, tell us what's in there.
A lot of makeup, and also how they shot the scenes with Michael B. Jordan playing 2 characters that were always together and side by side. it was really neat. Like of course they had a stand-in for, each one, but it was really neat how they did that. But the makeup for the vampires, like I didn't really notice that it was that in depth until I watched the making of it. Like who is that cornbread, the big black guy at the
Oh
door?
yeah.
Half his face was hanging off, and it was really neat how they did it.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
one different thing in this movie where when the vampires got injured, they didn't just heal back up. Like they stayed injured for the rest of the duration, it seemed like. So
Yeah,
that was a little bit of a different take on it. And they didn't seem to care.
yeah. No, well, would you?
But that could have been hive mind. That's another thing. So normally vampires are like the created vampires are slaves of the master vampire or whatever. But this time they were like literally just almost extensions of his body, right? Kind
Hmm.
of. Like they
Hmm.
still have their personality, but
Hmm.
quite a bit different than a standard vampire.
Did either of you pick up like kind of what is it called, a double entendre of Sinners though? Like, because I feel like I don't know how to even explain it, but um how they went to the juke joint, and how like everybody was having affairs there, and so like it wasn't just about Sinners the vampires, it was about people's behavior when they're out, and it was, to me, that's what I picked up on. Like there was such a double meaning to Sinners.
Yeah, they had kind of like a pantry or a closet or whatever that they'd all go into, and Sammy's in there and he's doing stuff with a married lady, and everybody's getting it on in that little closet that they had, uh,
Until they weren't.
until they
Yeah, until the
until they
blood
weren't.
started
Yeah,
shooting. Yeah.
Yeah, till the
yeah. There
one
was
part.
there was. I was kind of trying to think of what the meaning of the title, and I guess it's just the only person I guess who's really super duper virtuous in the whole movie is the Sammy's father, who's like, don't go and play the devil's music, and which is something you usually hear uh about rock and roll around the time of Elvis and all that stuff. Is that's what all the old dads were saying at the time. This is the devil's music and all that stuff, and it's kind of interesting, I guess. Maybe I don't know historically how accurate it is, but to hear that somebody was concerned with that stuff back when the blues was becoming a big thing. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard any old blues music, but some of it gets pretty raunchy. Even way back then, like there was like dirty blues where you could hear
Mm.
like it was pretty filthy, the lyrics. It's
Oh,
right
yeah.
up there with your Two Live Crew
Oh,
and all that.
Love Crew and NWA. I
Yeah,
can't believe you know about that. I don't
yeah.
know why I said that, but
Well, I don't. Other than the fact that like all the kids when I was in grade 9 or whatever, you got the Two Live Crew tape that you taped off your buddy and you hid it from your mom and dad because you didn't want them playing it by mistake and hearing, the Abraham Lincoln song or
my mom
what
found
was
it.
another one?
I came home one day and there was a pile of tape. She ripped all the tape out of my cassettes, left it in a pile on my bedroom floor. It was like NWA, Two Live Crew. I had all of those, and she ripped my cassettes all apart.
Mm.
And then
Yeah.
CDs. So
Anyway, everyone got upset with the Two Live Crew, but if you go back into the 1920s and stuff like that, when people were first starting to record music, there was this dirty blues, and it gives you can look it up. There's some on YouTube, and it'll give Two Live Crew a run for its money. And oddly enough, a lot of the times it's not guys singing the songs; it's ladies.
well, then since we're talking about raunchy, like going way back, if you have ever listened to any Jamaican dance hall, that will give everybody a run for its money. It's really raunch. And I
Mm.
mean, I loved it though. Like it's great music, but I think a lot of white people don't understand it when they're dancing to it, so they don't have a clue like what's going on in the lyrics. But it's really raunch.
Mm.
Yeah, it's kind of I don't know. It's nice to pick up on a little bit of, pardon me, raunchy music history.
Yeah.
There we go. It's a little bit of that tied in there too. But
Well,
they are like, everyone's doing weird stuff in the old juke joint. It's not a wholesome place by any stretch of the imagination.
Oh, If I was alive in those days, I would have been there. And I would have been the one at the door saying, "Can I come in?"
Yeah, I don't know. You wouldn't have been in there, same as me. We wouldn't have been in, but we'd have to listen from the outside with the vampire guys, I guess.
We'd be playing our little banjos on the hay bale over there because they wouldn't.
Yeah,
Playing the nerd music out the door. Yeah.
yeah. We just got our 2 live crew tape going outside. Can we come in? We like this is good stuff.
No, blues is good music, though. I don't know if you guys have ever been to New Orleans, but like the music there is insanely good. Like the live music everywhere, it's really good.
Yeah, I've never ventured down that way. I like live music. I try and pick up as much live music as I can. But there's a couple blues bars here that are pretty good, and they get some live acts that come through that are from places like that. If you're lucky enough, you can kind of time it right, and you can get in to see. I know that there's a blues. We live in Alberta, so you got Edmonton and Calgary for blues music, and there's a blues bar here in Calgary that just moved from one section over to a bigger place. And
Blues Can?
the Blues Can, yeah, they just reopened on 16th Ave. Pretty big. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't been there. I've been to the old Blues Can, but not this one. But I don't know if there's any blues playing when I went that night. They have to put whatever music they can get on there, right? It's a local spot.
We should all go.
Yeah, Blues on White again in Edmonton. I've been to that one a lot. That was a lot of fun, and they have lots of live blues there, lots of live folk tunes and stuff like that. Very Sinners-esque, so it's always a pretty good time.
So as you were just talking here, Ryan, I remembered was the ending that you guys were talking about 60 years later when he's sitting in the bar by himself?
That's one of them. Yeah.
What was the other one?
There's another one. If you go right to the very, very end, there's a scene with Sammy where it must take place before that day, but he's playing a religious song. He's sitting in the church and he picks up his guitar and he plays "This Little Light of Mine" all by himself.
Was he still young or was he old?
Yeah, it had to have taken place before. He was younger, but it had to take place before all that stuff happened because he had his big the resonator guitar with the big metal thing on it, and it was before it all got broken. And nobody's in the church; it's just him, and he's playing some nice religious tunes there. So
I don't remember if I remember that ending, but yeah, the 60 years later one in the bar, that one really surprised me because like the vampire, they let him live, which was so cool because they don't really do that, do they? Vampires don't let people live.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking
maybe
of
they could. That might mean that they're non-standard vampires. They're not
vampires with a little compassion.
Yeah, they go kill somewhere else.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny because they had them both surviving that night or whatever. They'd been broken free from the guy who made them into vampires, which was the what's his name? Remick is the main vampire guy, Jack O'Connell, and so now that he's gone or whatever, all these other people that didn't get burned up in the sunlight that day or whatever, they're all just kind of running around, and I guess they've got like a little bit of free will. And I kind of thought that was an interesting scene because it kind of shows that they're like linked to each other, but they're still going back to that night, and they make him play that song that he was playing that night just because you can't hear that. Like you have to think like that's probably tortured them for all that time, as they've never, they love that song so much, but they never got to hear it again because it was special to that night, which is an interesting thing about music is sometimes if you're not there for something live, you're never going to see it again, and you're never going to hear it. It's just one of those things that's in the moment, right? So it was I don't know, pretty sweet scene, good way to end the movie, and give it a little bit of a mystery and leave you wanting more, I guess. I don't know.
I was obsessed with that movie. Like I said, as soon as it was over, I started Googling and YouTubing to learn more about everything about it. I think it was really well done. I really do. And so that's why I didn't understand. I've seen some people bitch about it on reviews and stuff. And I feel like those people just didn't get the whole point of it, you know?
No, I'll say it. They can all burn in hell. I don't know.
No, did you guys catch the reference? I wish that I had a better memory, but did you catch the reference? There's one old blues singer from the past, and it's the story that he met the devil at the crossroads kind of thing. There was a reference to that in the movie, but what is that singer's name?
It's Robert Johnson.
Yes, 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 yes. That reference was in the movie too.
Yeah. Sammy's character is kind of like based on that whole. It's an American myth sort of thing about this guy being so good at the blues. Now, Tim, you and Nicole being such Coen Brothers fans, I know that you guys really like Inside Llewyn Davis, and
loved it.
I'm just going to keep bringing that up until your wife murders me. Rosemary says hello. Hello, hi, Rosemary. Good to have you here. But we're talking about this. So the Coen brothers, they have that "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" movie. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, either one of you guys. But if you like
I've seen
Sinners,
that
you're gonna
one.
love this. And Robert Johnson's a character in that movie, and he does. They pick him up at the crossroads just after he's, sold his soul to the devil, sort of thing. And now he's just like, I didn't know how I could play this guitar, and here I am playing this guitar. It's just amazing now.
Documentary about him. There's an actual documentary about him, but it's so old I can't remember all the ins and outs, but I've never really forgotten that.
Yeah, I mean, and if you've ever tried to play blues music, it's pretty tough. Like, you can play it. Like, I mean, I play a little bit of guitar and I play a little bit of folk stuff, but to play the blues is kind of a language, and it's so tough. Like, you have, it's a feeling that you have to do, and it's just like kind of a way of like saying things with the guitar that you just don't do with another form of music.
I can imagine. There's so much history and so much soul in it. I can't imagine it would be an easy genre to learn how to play unless you were born into it, you know?
All the cool people play the blues. I'm not cool enough.
Some cool people go to Riverdale on Sunday afternoon. That was me.
Well,
I haven't done either.
So, hey, Tim, you said in the title of this, when you were announcing it to everyone, our live, you said we're going to be talking about hoodoos. Did you mean voodoo?
Hoodoo with no S, which would be magic, correct?
I don't know. I thought hoodoo was like at Drumheller, and voodoo was, because voodoo has a lot of history in Black people and like blues and stuff. I don't know. Is hoodoo something else besides Drumheller stuff?
it is. I just looked it up, and like hoodoo is a form of like magic or whatever. I think there's voodoo, and I don't know anything about this. I'm not like a magic guy or whatever, but there is voodoo, there's hoodoo, and then there's a bunch of little things in there. But what the lady was doing in the movie, when I looked it up, they called it hoodoo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So according to AI, which of course is going to answer right away, hoodoo, known as root work, is a system of folk magic and spiritual practices rooted in American South. And
I did not
voodoo
know that.
would be, I believe, the
That's like
voodoo is
witchcraft.
more like witchcraft.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a different practice.
Yeah. I didn't know
That's
that.
very rough.
Like the way land looked at the dinosaur museum. Now, people
So I believe,
who don't know what Drumheller is are like, what is she talking about?
and I think hoodoos, that's based on Native American or
Gotta be
indigenous person language.
Yeah.
I believe that's where that word comes from.
indigenous person language.
Yeah. So
For the rock
anybody that's
formations.
watching that doesn't know what a hoodoo is, just imagine that the coyote is up on top, standing on top of one of those big flat rocks, sets off an explosion, and it flips the rock right off that stump, lands right on coyote, right? So those are hoodoos, those standing rocks on top of like a mushroom rock.
That was an interesting explanation of it. Or they could just go on Google and
It worked for me.
If you don't have coyote in there, it's not a real, it's not a real hoodoo unless coyote's involved.
No, you know what? Overall, though, as Sinners, I loved the feel of the movie because I don't know, I get really suckered into those old American South Black history movies. I love that kind of vibe. Like, it's just so fascinating because, I mean, we're just whitewashed Canadians who have no history, right?
And hardly any blues.
Yeah, basically. We have one in each city, like one bar in each city. Yeah, so I don't know. I really liked it. Plus the actors, like the cast was pretty amazing.
It was.
Another great thing about this movie, it's really difficult to make Sinners Part 2. Thank God. Like, movies that can't have sequels, I just love.
I
Things
hate it because
like,
they're
sure, they could make a sequel, but it's going to be stupid.
yeah, it won't be the same at all. I get heartbroken when there's not a next thing to a series or a movie that I love. I'm like, I get so invested in series on TV and then I have to wait a year for the next season or something. I'm like, I get depressed. I
But
know.
with movies, usually number 2 is terrible, number 3 might be okay. So there's no point in
Yeah.
general to make sequels.
Yeah, movies, yeah. But there's a lot of seasons of like series you can get really invested in and then I don't know, if they discontinue it's no good.
Yeah, that's one of those things that Tim and I talk about once in a while. Is when you look at something that people really like, it's kind of like catching lightning in a bottle. And when you got a good movie and it's over, like Sinners. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're not going to continue the story, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see something down the road from Ryan Coogler where it's backstory to the characters or something like that, because they gave you enough in the story
Yeah.
to tell you that these two guys, Smoke and Stack, had something really wild going on when they were in Chicago working for Al Capone and stealing from Irish mafia and Italian mafia and all these guys, and they're kind of like robbing Peter to pay Paul to make this juke joint happen and sort of thing. So there might be something that we see about that.
Mhm.
You could have something down the road about, um, was it Mary and I want to say, is it Smoke? Shit, I don't know.
I
One
remember
of them,
Yeah.
Smoke or Stack. You
Stack.
know, you might see, the continuing adventures of them. I don't know. You could see something like that. There's open kind of things, but there's not like, I don't know. I don't want to
It's
see
not
a
a
Sinners
direct
2.
continuation. Yeah.
No, it would be a Sinners verse, as
Yeah.
everyone's doing like
Well, and I guess if they have to do that, they have to, but
Yeah.
I think that this is good. Like, it's good just like it is when you kind of, it's kind of like, I don't know if you know the character Wolverine,
I know of him.
Kristi.
Yeah.
Like Wolverine, he has a mysterious story and little hints of a backstory, and then once they reveal it all, yeah,
It is. Yeah.
the mystery's over, the fun's over, and he's still a fun character to read, but he doesn't have that air of mystery about him anymore. It's not as exciting. So
Yeah.
I kind of like it when things just kind of stay where they are. Like I'm good. This had a great ending, had a great middle, had a great villains,
It
gave me
did.
something to think about. And if they never make another one, I'd be just as happy as if they did. I don't know if they could outdo what they did in this one, but
I don't think so either. So in the beginning, Ryan, you said that like when you find a good movie, you watch it over and over and over. Which is the movie? I just want to know for curiosity, which movie did you watch the most? I'll tell you mine after. Which movie have you watched the most because you loved it?
oh geez, there's a couple. I'd say it'd probably be a toss up between Ferris Bueller's Day Off and uh, Superman.
Oh, so that's two wildly different movies.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm a wild guy.
Tim, what about you? Do you have some movies that you've watched like on repeat a lot?
The Fifth Element,
Really?
Multipass, definitely.
Okay. Okay. I have two. Tombstone, the one with that one I've watched like minimum 50 times. Like because it's really old now too. So Tombstone and Crash. I don't know if you guys know Crash, the one that had a super all-star cast like Sandra Bullock, and there were so many famous people in Crash. You haven't watched it? Highly recommend.
I don't think I've
Uh,
watched Crash.
I was hoping you were talking about the crash with James Spader and Holly Hunter.
No, isn't that one kind of awful. I've never watched it, but I've heard.
It's a wholesome Canadian movie. I mean, if you want to watch a good Canadian movie, David Cronenberg's Crash. It's fun. But the other one that you're talking about, it did win Best Picture, I think. So
Yeah, and it's
I
got
have seen that one.
star-studded cast, but I've watched that one more times than is healthy.
Hmm.
It was such a good movie. I really liked it. But I don't watch Canadian movies. I feel like everything Canadian is crap.
No, it's not true. I want to say that I want to agree with you more than anything. It's mostly crap, but there's the odd gem.
Like what? Tell me one.
There's a whole bunch of good Canadian movies.
You can't name
Anything
one.
David Cronenberg, Crash, Existenz, Scanners. His son Brandon Cronenberg made a movie called Possessor. It's fantastic. I
I've
just
never
watched
seen
one.
them. Heard of them.
Oh yeah, you just follow my letterbox, that Ryan guy on Letterbox, and I'll make you a list. But there was one I watched the other day. There was a horror movie called In a Violent Nature, and it had a really curious little Canadian folk song at the end of it. And basically, it was a Friday the 13th ripoff. It wasn't great, but it was good. I mean, it looked nice. As much as a gory movie can look nice. I'm here to bust that myth. There's some good Canadian movies.
Robin said
They're
you
hard.
don't like the boom mic in the movie.
No, there's no boom mics. There's nothing like that. Another movie that I really liked is an old, if you guys know Spinal Tap, the movie Spinal Tap. It's not Spinal Tap. It's kind of like the same kind of idea. There's a fictional punk rock band, and they're touring from Vancouver to out to Winnipeg. They're doing a Western Canadian loop, and it's a fictional punk rock band called Hardcore Logo, and it's from the '90s. It's a fantastic movie.
Sounds
So,
riveting.
I got to ask a question now. How are we differentiating movies that have been filmed in Canada versus whatever you're talking about, which is, what do you mean? Movies that are only made by Canadians?
Like
Is that what
Canadian.
you're...
Yeah, like crap, basically, because The Last of Us was filmed all here, like even in our
That's what I
province
mean. Okay, so then
series.
if all of the Canadians go to the States to work as actors and then come back up here to film movies in Canada, are they not technically then actually Canadian movies?
No, it's not the same.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, the reason the Canadian movies suck, I just hinted at it, is because all the Canadians go to the States to become an actor.
I don't think that's why. I think Canadian
one of the
movies suck
reasons.
because there's no money here. And when you have like a big American production come here, they bring all their money, they bring all their talent, and they bring all the people who know
they
how
bring
to
all of our
who know
talent
how
back.
to.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, they have their own, but they all bring those people. We have talented people here too, but we don't have the money to pay them to make these things. So whenever you're talking about
from us,
yeah, I
Maybe we
mean,
should put some tariffs on that shit.
Yeah, we need to tariff.
It's going to happen. But one of the things you find out when you talk to Canadian filmmakers is they're really good at filling out grant applications, and that's where the money comes from. So
we looked at that too for what was the grant for Cold Lake, for instance, Cold Lake, Alberta.
Yeah, Cold Lake has a grant for film there. That's pretty generous. But
you have to basically feature all of Cold Lake in your film in order to get the grant, correct?
Yeah, it's just like if someone else, the main difference is I think when you're talking about a Canadian production versus an American production, and you guys can look this up. There was like a tax break in the 80s or 70s and 80s where David Cronenberg kind of exploited it, and it was kind of a loophole where he could do whatever he wanted to. So he made this like crazy shit, and then they closed that loophole, and then he'd already made his name for himself, and he got to do whatever he wanted, which is Crash and all that, the 98 Crash or whatever, not the one that you like, the sick one where people get in car crashes, yeah, that I like, but there is little pockets and little ones that you find as you kind of go in and out. Yeah, we do make good stuff here. It's just hard, and it's hard to stand out when other places are spending more money and letting people do kind of what they want with no strings attached.
Well, yeah, I think that's the problem. Is that we don't have the money to pay people. We don't have the money to pay them. So Well, and why wouldn't America come and film here? Because the dollar, first of all, and like we provide such good incentives for filmmaking, which I think is great. It contributes to our economy, really.
Yeah,
But
there's tax breaks and all kinds of stuff for foreign productions to come here. So any sort of local productions or whatever, like the thing is like you go down to the States and you have a good script or something like that, you can go to studio to studio to studio and pitch it. Who are you going to pitch that to here? It's going to be probably a government agency. So
Mhm.
they don't have the kind of spending incentive or money or whatever that it's just a different structure.
Yeah.
So I mean that's why a whole lot of people go down there to do that kind of stuff, is because there isn't really a good market for it here. That's not to say that there couldn't be, but there has to be. I don't know. For me, I kind of like, and the thing that people like about Hollywood movies is that when you go and make a Hollywood movie, for all intents and purposes, a lot of people get to do what they want, and that's the main thing. Ryan Coogler with Sinners got to do what he wanted, and Quentin Tarantino gets to do what they want. They don't have to. They have to satisfy studio people, but they're already there because they have proven themselves, sort of thing. Whereas you could be a proven filmmaker here in Canada and you'd probably always have to satisfy those grant requirements or government requirements or whatever it is. So a little bit tougher of a landscape. And that's my basic understanding of it. But
You have way
what do
more
I know?
understanding than I do about that. But fun fact about the Canadian music scene when you're talking about grants, did you know back in the day, in the late 90s, Much Music used to give out grants for video productions. Like, remember Much Music? I don't think it exists anymore. But when
It does. Yep.
does it still?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I used to manage a band when I was in audio production school in Vancouver, way back in 1998. Yeah, so I managed a band, and that band ended up like they got several grants from Much Music to film music videos.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, they did. And then the guy, this is the fun part though. The guy who was the video producer, his name is Stefano Barbaris. I Google him now because he has since, like, some of those music videos were filmed in my garage. He is now like a 35-time winner of the CCMA awards, like Canadian Country Music Awards. He's like a massive video producer now, and we knew him when he was a nobody applying for grants and filming videos in my garage. So it's a cool fun fact. Much Music is still around. It has a funny TikTok. Thanks, Robin.
I was going to say, I didn't know it had a funny TikTok. I thought it was just like Beavis and Butthead reruns, but
Of course they have a TikTok.
now, today I was perusing YouTube to see what was on the San Diego Comic-Con thing, and you know what, Tim? We got a new season of Beavis and Butthead coming here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't watch a whole lot of TV shows, but I might have to throw caution to the wind and watch that one.
The only thing I ever got out of Beavis and Butthead was cornholio.
Oh,
man.
and I got don't take a whiz on the electric fence. That's the most important takeaway.
I've got. If you guys haven't seen the new Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, how they get there is they're really good at manipulating this one thing around a rocket. If you haven't seen it, it's absolutely hilarious. I think I laughed so hard I might have been close to passing out. I just thought it was great. I get a lot out of Beavis and Butthead. You know, you learn a lot of life lessons on there, indirectly maybe, but
like
Indirectly.
it's for your bunghole, Robin.
you see this? Yeah, we're touching bases here with people.
I know. We're touching lives, you guys.
Yeah.
Best podcast.
Lighting that big Beavis and Butthead shaped candle in your heart, are we? We're gonna do it. That's what we want. See,
Well, Robin, I bet he's going to write an article about this tomorrow. I bet you.
That's quite the candle shape in my head that I can see now. I don't know if I like it.
what's fueling that flame? We don't know. We don't want to know.
I don't know. Oh, well. Well, I think the general message of this podcast is to go watch Sinners.
Watch Sinners. Watch some Canadian movies too. They're fun. I promise you. There's one or two good ones.
I need you to email me a list. I don't know.
We've got a strange brew quote request, so I don't know. Maybe this is the part of the movie where the mutants go shopping. Is that an obscure enough strange brew quote?
Yeah, I like Larry's comment the best. I am the great cornholio.
Everybody loved cornholio. It really works if you do it like if you're at a family party and you just throw the t-shirt over your head and walk
Yeah,
around like that.
yeah.
My wife loves it when I do that.
There used to be an emoji called cornholio, like the little yellow guy with his hands up like this. And I'll send it to you.
We got Luke asking, is there an irony with sinners? Are they saints? No, they're
No,
sinners. It's about
they're
sinners.
vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns
They
out that that sinning invites in vampires, basically, or calls them in.
Do you know,
Yeah.
I've been to places like that where it's like like that juke joint in Jamaica. I've been to lots of places like that where it's like everyone's a sinner on Saturday night and they're in church on Sunday morning. That's kind of that's what it really reminded me of. Those juke joints were
Yeah,
great.
and I think that's sort of the message of this movie too, is that all those people were out there doing this bad stuff. It was their way to blow off steam, and they
You're
were
inviting
inviting in.
into your life.
Yeah, they're inviting in. There's a cultural aspect too to the vampires, which is what you were touching on. Is like not only are they inviting these vampires in, but the vampires, what they really want to do is take their music for their own, and they want to take it. They want Sammy's voice, and they want that. They want
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So everyone there is there for bad purpose, and
Yeah.
bad things come out of everyone being there for bad purpose. So it's don't let that detract you, Luke. It's a great
No,
movie. It's a lot of fun.
the symbolism in it is so good. There were so many crossroads and there were so many it was just really interesting. It wasn't just a good vampire movie. It was really
And
interesting.
it wasn't a horror movie per se either. There's not a lot of jump scares or anything like that. It's not.
No, it's a light. It's like a 3 on the scale of horror.
Yeah.
It's there's a couple. I don't even think there's a real bunch of gore. A lot of blood, maybe, but it's a vampire movie. There's going to be some blood.
Yeah.
Nothing really gory. Pretty. Don't take the kids for sure.
No.
I mean,
especially the sex scenes. I mean, there's one or two of those that are.
That's pretty raunchy.
Yeah,
but, don't take mom and dad. Don't watch this with your mom and dad. Just,
watch it in the basement.
people, you don't do that. It'd be weird, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you guys all just rock out like that. I don't know. I'm not going to judge, but don't take your mom and dad.
Honestly, I'm glad that you invited me to this, Tim, because as soon as when I tuned into your last podcast and I just saw the tail end of Something Sinners that you guys were talking about, I was like, oh my God, we need to talk about this. Because I had just watched the movie the week before, I think. And I was obsessed with it. It was really good.
Now, I do a thing every year where from December till probably, no, I don't know. When is it? So they announced the Best Picture nominees for the Oscars. And just to get myself out of my movie comfort zone, I watch all 10 of them. And I think Sinners is going to be definitely on that list.
Well, that's my prediction. Some time then.
Well, yeah.
Or will you watch it again?
I might have to.
I might. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've watched it twice. So.
I want to watch it again now that I've read a lot of the stuff online about it, and I think I missed a few little things that people online picked up on. So I would like to probably watch it again. And I'm probably going to put this podcast on my YouTube channel, so I'll be interested to see if it picks up any traction from all the other people who are talking about Sinners on YouTube, if I tag this properly. So we'll see. But I probably just came across as a totally uneducated fool.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah,
you can't compete with those people.
Yeah, bunch of white dorks talking about sinners, right?
That's great.
That's us. I don't know,
okay,
Ryan.
Well,
your whole movie industry knowledge is kind of impressive.
Thanks. It's all I really like to do. I think I've logged something like the Unabonger just joined.
Yes. Quick, everybody run.
Right at the end. You're showing up right before we're all getting ready to split for the evening.
Unabonger.
Hey, we better rate this movie. We haven't rated it yet.
Hmm.
So,
Out of what? What do you guys rate?
whatever you want. So I'm rating it 43.7 out of 52.
Oh yeah.
That's my rating.
Well, I'm going to rate it 99 liters of blood out of 100.
Oh.
I really liked it.
Rate mine 666 sins out of 500.
Oh wow, that's like it.
That's over the top.
A lot of sinning.
Yeah. The future people are going to be paying off those sins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. It was fun, you guys. It's been a long time since we podcasted together, so thanks for inviting me. I really enjoyed it.
No, it's a pleasure to have you.
It reminds me of the time we all sat in a pub together and then you guys popped off after I left.
Yeah, did we ever?
I heard about it.
There was
Yeah, I
a
guess
there
we
was a
should've stuck
serious day of
around.
recovery.
Debauchery.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we should probably let Kristi. You've got walking to do. I've got walking to do.
Yeah,
Or
before it
whatever.
rained.
I'm going to
Yeah.
throw
Before
on a
it's raining
Canadian
again.
movie.
Yeah.
Do it.
So
Send me your list.
yeah, let's call it a night.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Thanks for showing up, Kristi.
Yeah.
It's been a
It's been a
slice.
slice.
Slice. See you guys.
Boring, disappointing, and useless.